let's consider the function f of x equals 1 over x squared. Notice what happens as x approaches 0. So as you can see, as x approaches 0, passing through the positive values, f of x increases and there is no bound to its growth. Similarly, as x approaches 0, passing through the negative values, f of x increases indefinitely. Now we define infinite limits. We say that the limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to positive infinity if the values of f of x increases without bound whenever the values of x get closer and closer to a. And similarly, we say that the limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to negative infinity if the value of f of x decreases without bound whenever the values of x get closer and closer to a. In this definition, pwede nating palitan yung x approaches a as x approaches a from the left or x approaches a from the right. So same pa rin yung magiging limit. Going back to our previous example, f of x equals 1 over x squared, pansinin ninyo na from the left, f of x approaches infinity, while from the right, f of x also approaches infinity. Therefore, we say that the limit of 1 over x squared as x approaches 0 is actually equal to positive infinity. It is important to note that infinity is not a number. Okay? Ibig sabihin nito, the limit of f of x as x approaches a equals positive infinity or negative infinity. This means that the limit does not exist. Okay? Yung limit na positive infinity at negative infinity actually means that the limit does not exist. However, the symbol is very important kasi sinasabi niya na yung function natin papunta siya sa positive infinity or negative infinity as x approaches a. So pinapakita lang niya na, okay, itong function pala na ito, pa-infinity pala to. Pero, the limit does not exist. Kasi nga, wala naman siyang ina-approach na number. Now, let's take a look at this theorem. Suppose that the limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to c. That means it is a constant. And the limit of g of x as x approaches a is equal to 0. Then, the following statements are true. First, if c is greater than 0, meaning our c is positive, and g of x approaches 0 passing through the positive values as x approaches a, then the limit of f of x over g of x as x approaches a is equal to positive infinity. However, if c is greater than 0, but our g of x approaches 0 passing through the negative values, then the limit of f of x over g of x as x approaches a is equal to negative infinity. On the other hand, if our c is less than 0, meaning negative yung makukuha nating limit dito, and g of x approaches 0 passing through the positive values, then the limit of f of x over g of x as x approaches a is equal to negative infinity. And if c is less than 0, but your g of x approaches 0, passing through the negative values, then the limit of f of x over g of x as x approaches a is equal to positive infinity. So sa madaling salita, parang sinasabi lang niya na kung yung limit natin sa taas, sa numerator natin, ay constant, okay? Tapos, yung limit natin sa baba ay 0, titignan lang natin yung sign. Pag positive ito, tapos positive ito, positive dapat yung infinity. Okay? So, sinasabi niya, positive over positive, positive na infinity. Para lang tayong nagdi-divide. Diba? Same sign, positive, different signs, negative. So, if we have negative sa tapos 0 negative yung nasa baba, ibig sabihin, positive infinity pa rin yan. Okay? Kapag naman positive sa taas, negative yung nasa baba, that's negative infinity. At kapag negative yung taas, positive yung baba, that's negative infinity. So same sign, positive infinity, different signs, negative infinity. Now, let's take a look at this example. The limit of 5x over 4 minus x squared as x approaches negative 2 from the left. Notice that we can actually factor out yung nasa baba. So that becomes 2 minus x and 2 plus x. As x approaches negative 2 from the left. Now, by direct substitution, since wala naman tayong pwedeng i-cancel, so we have 5 times negative 2 over 2 minus negative 2 times 2 plus negative 2, which is equal to negative 10 over, this is now 4, times, pansinin nyo ito ay magzi-0. However, chine-check natin yung negative 2 from the left. So, kapag from the left ito, ano ba yung mga from the left of negative 2? We have negative 3. So, check 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1. 2 plus negative 4 is negative 2. Ibig sabihin, as it approaches 0, it actually passes through the negative values. Therefore, this is 0, negative. So, sabi ko nga kanina, dapat same sign para positive, different para negative. So, in this case, we have negative sa taas, sa baba, positive times negative is negative. So, we have negative over negative. So, the answer is positive infinity. Now, kunin naman natin yung limit ng function na ito if x approaches negative 2 from the right. So, again, we factor this out. We have the limit of 5x over 2 minus x 2 plus x as x approaches negative 2 from the right. So by direct substitution, this is now equal to negative 10 over 2 minus negative 2 is 4 times, eto, positive siya, so 2 plus negative 2, tignan natin kung saan ba dadaan yung 0 natin. So we have 2 plus negative 1. So we have 1. Diba? Nasa right siya ng negative 2. 2 plus 0, we have 2. So this means that as it approaches 0, it actually passes through the positive value. So that is 0, positive. Since we have negative sa taas at positive sa baba, different signs, this means that this is equal to negative infinity.